Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to be building a hay feeder for our goats. We have used different things. When I built their pen, I should have built them a hay feeder. But we have been using different things for them. We used a small wheelbarrow that we would just put the hay in and wheel it over here, and then the wheel broke off. So somehow a cooler ended up in there, and we just put hay in that. I think Ella might have brought hay over in it one time, and we were like, hey, let's just put the hay in that. But as you can see, it's wreaking havoc. There's the cooler. Hamilton likes to jump in there too, sometimes. And it gets all over the place. So I gotta try to clean this mess up. There's Hamilton. There's our big goat, that's Willow. She's a female. And there's Jupiter. Jupiter's a smaller male. And we will be breeding them together. That way we can get goat's milk, and we'll have some baby goats, some kids. They're fairly friendly. They don't, you know, goats are not mean. It's a nice goat. They're cute. But Hamilton's been hanging out in here with them until we get him to put in with Daisy. So I'll build this goat feeder for them, and I'm going to hang it up in their house. So, and then I'm going to clean up this mess on the ground. Maybe do something with all that hay. Yeah, it's time. Alright, I'll teach you guys how to do this, and hopefully it will turn out good. I've never built one before, so I'm not sure. I just looked up some measurements, though, online, and the measurements that are common, it seems to be 22.5 by 22.5, and that holds 2 chips of hay. That's what they call it, I guess, when you break away, off the hay bale. I would also like to build a covering, so we can keep some bales of hay down at their house. Right now I keep it in the garage, but if I build a covering down there, I should be able to keep some down, I should be able to keep it down there. But I'm assuming it's got to be covered at least by 3 sides so it doesn't get wet. At first I was thinking of an overhang, but the wind down here with the rain can be pretty, pretty heavy sometimes. First, we're gonna build the hay feeder. Okay, so I have cut my 2 pieces, my 2 sides, and I want to kind of cut them at an angle. The ones that I saw online, they said they were about 6.5 inches wide. I cut mine at 8.5 inches wide, but I'm going to taper it down to 6.5 inches wide, so it'll be, kind of at that angle when you put it up, and you'll see that. I'm going to show that right now, how I'm going to come down. There's my piece. I know this is 8.5, so I'm going to make it down to 6.5. Got my straight edge. There's going to be one. Now this is 8.5 up here. Make it down to 6.5. And it's such a nice day out. God, I love working outside. Seems like it should still be winter time here, but it's like spring. Okay, there's 2. Saw cut up. There's one. Alright, I got my two sides cut. Now I'm going to make a bottom and make a little spot for the top, and then I'll build the back. Always remember, when you're using a table saw, know where your fingers are at all times, because table saws are very unforgiving if you put your fingers in the way of the blade. They will take your finger in a heartbeat. So safety, always, like I said, always keep track of your fingers when using the table saw. A table saw is a powerful piece of equipment, and it can cut through fingers, hands, and other stuff like it was nothing. So I always just try to be careful. Take a deep breath before you use it. Calm, relaxed, and make your cut. Just know where your fingers are. Okay, so I just got done cutting my two pieces. This one's for the bottom, and this is going to be sort of a brace for the top of my hay feeder. I cut this at 2.5, and my bottom piece is of course 6.5, because they're 6.5 inches wide, my sides. Now my back is going to be a little bit different, because I want to cover my whole back, so I want my inside diameter to be 22.5. So the back of my piece will be 24 inches wide, and then 22.5 inches high, because height won't matter. And then I'll go find a piece and I'll get that cut, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I found my piece. I'm going to show you a trick to cut a straight line. So I'm going to cut my 24 inch first, okay? So if I put it there, I want to measure 1.5 inches up. Okay? I got 24, measure 1.5 inches up. See that? I want it to be 24, but I want to make sure I cut a straight line. So I measure 1.5 inches up, 22.5. Teach you guys something that I thought is pretty interesting. Maybe you already know this trick, maybe you don't. Clamp down your straight edge. I do it right on the line. Looks like it's a little bit much. Okay. So I'm gonna measure. It's not quite 1.5 inches. It's gonna be 1 3/8 inches. So what I'll do is I'll make my adjustment. There it is. Okay, there's my 24. Now I gotta do a 22.5. Perfect 24-inch cut. Right? So now I gotta do it 22.5. But I think I'm gonna do this one a little bit easier. See, it's 22.5. I have to take off 6 15/16. So I'm gonna do it on the, I'll set it up and show you how to do it. So I gotta do 22.5, right? So I go 1.5 inches, and instead of going 1.5 inches, I just gotta go 1 3/8 inches. So it's gonna be 21 1/8. So I'm gonna measure here. I always measure out to 22.5, or my half number wherever I gotta go, and then I'll measure 1 3/8 inches up. So 21 1/8. So as you see, I was going 1.5 inches earlier. That was my mistake. But I always double check before I cut. And if you see that I did double check before I cut, and I didn't mess up my wood, I made the correction. So, there's that. Okay, so I'm gonna check it. Oh, looks good. Okay, so there's my back piece. If you notice, I was getting a little kickback there. And that's because I had the weight on. I was trying to hold it up and cut it because the whole thing was just falling because there was too much weight on there. But I got it cut 22.5 by 24. And now it should fit perfect when I put it together. So let's check it out. Okay, so I got my glue. I'm gonna go with the Tight Bond 2. And I got my nail gun set up. So I say let's put this thing together. Look at this. See,
That is not good. I have to fix that immediately. The nail curled up and boom, shot right out the bottom. So I'm gonna fix that. Okay, so I got my bottom on. It'll sit just like this. Well, basically it'll look like that. And here's my top brace. I get that on. And now is the moment of truth. I gotta put the back on. Look at this. Bam. Goat feeder. I just got to put covering on the front. So let's go do that. And you know what? It's such a nice day out. Let's go see what Daisy's doing. Maybe we'll let her run around for a little bit. We'll take a quick break. Check up on Daisy. See what she's into. It's the side of my garage. Whoa, where's Daisy? There's a group of chickens. I think they're waiting for Daisy to come out too. They're like, come on, Daisy, where you at? Cray cray. Is she in our house? Let's take a peek. There she is. Daisy. Daisy, over here. Here she comes. Look how dirty her face is. She's been rooting around in the mud. Okay, so now that I got my goat box built, I have to put some sort of netting on the front. I have some of the netting that I use for the goats pen and for the pig pen, and I'm going to use that, and then we'll fill it with hay, and what they'll do is they'll pull out. I think that will be big enough, or I can make bars. I'll see what I have for material to make bars maybe. So I was debating on using like the 3-inch square or 2-inch by, I think it's 2-inch by 3-inch square fencing for my goat feeder, but I think I'm gonna do the bars instead. I think it looks nicer, and I was kind of worried about the fencing because it wasn't lining up right and it would have left jagged edges, and I don't want the goat or anybody to get poked with it. So I'm just gonna go with the wood beams. I got them spaced out. Well, it's not perfectly spaced yet, but I'm gonna put them about 3 inches apart when I put them on. So I'll go ahead and do that. There's Hamilton. He's been hanging out with the goats. See him over down there. All right, so I got it installed, and I'm gonna get some hay and we're gonna try it out. And I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's installed and when it's filled with hay and all that other great stuff. All right, there it is installed. I'm gonna put some hay in it. Well, there it is. You guys seen me build it from start to finish. My cost was $0 because I had all the parts lying around. So I didn't have to buy anything, which worked out for me. I saw a place online where you can get it for the fencing one for about 40 bucks, but I think you can build it a lot cheaper than that. And you don't have to use the brad nails. You can use just a regular finish nail or something to put in there and some glue. I'd say you could probably build it going a cheap route for about 20 bucks. Yeah, not bad. The goats seem to enjoy it. The only one who may not like it's gonna be Hamilton. All right, I have some more tasks to tend to. I'm gonna try to clean up this pen somewhat because it is kind of a wreck in here. I'll get it cleaned out and it'll all be good. Well, thanks for watching our video once again. I hope you learned how to build something today. One big plus is that I kept all my fingers today. Yes, I used that table saw and cut my fingers. I used the chop saw and cut my fingers. That's always a big plus. But you gotta be careful, that's all. All right, guys. I'm watching Hamilton. You guys have a great day, and thank you for watching.